Hey guys, Dr. Snellgrove here, just recording a quick video going over our first major assignment. So this is the reporting information essay. And by the time, let's see, by the time you're seeing the video, you should be able to see the actual description on Canvas. I'm hoping you'll read along with me because there's not a whole lot to say, but the essay I can almost guarantee is weirder than ones that you've done before. All right. So as it says at the beginning, it starts out with you asking a question where we could theoretically get an answer, but for whatever reason, we don't, as a society, have a definitive answer yet. It's like the answers are debatable. Society hadn't settled on an answer. It could be, but theoretically, this could be answered with evidence and argument. And so you're going to, over the course of the essay, use or find three or more sources that will help you answer the question. And I feel like, and that's what you're doing through the essays, just trying to, answer all the follow-up questions that help you ultimately answer the main question. And I feel like things have come full circle because I first started doing this essay a few years back during a presidential election year. So that's why our example thing on here is like, would so and so be a good president? And now I'm recording this in the middle of another election year. But I'm not saying you can choose, any kind of question to answer, but I wanted to walk you through why that kind of question is deceptively good for this kind of essay prompt. So basically, you want to figure out like, would so and so be a good president? That's running. And so it's like, okay, well, how do you actually answer that? It's like, well, how do we define who good presidents are? I'm going to need to find resources that help me answer that question. What are examples of good presidents? What are examples of bad presidents? Okay, this person that's saying they want to run for president, what does your research tell you about their record? Okay, now how well does their record and their experience line up with what you have already learned is the answer to, the question or, what makes a good president? It's like over here, I've got like a bunch of sources saying good presidents have the following qualities. And then I've got this person's record and experience. How well do these things line up? So that's really like this is not the most sexy description I could give the essay, but this is basically helping this is show your work, the essay. So it's like, hey, these are questions, some of which, like I said, would so and so be a good president? A lot of people think that's a simple question because it's just something someone would argue about, with another person, start some shit online. But in reality, if you want to honestly, as an academic writer, try to answer that, there's a whole lot of research, there's a whole lot of follow up. And I kind of did it unconsciously describing this essay to you. But to answer the one main question, you almost always have to answer follow-up questions, right? So it's like, okay, before I can say yes, so and so would be a good president, or no, so and so would not be a good president. It's like, how do we define good president? Who are examples of good presidents? Who are examples of bad presidents? What is this candidate's record? What is this candidate's experience? It's like I've got to run down all these different answers before and figure that out before I can answer that core question. So that's the real trick here is I hope not to sound any more of a smartass than I normally am, but like students will often ask me what makes a good topic for this paper. It's like, well, hopefully there's this, it's a topic you like, something you're interested in, but there is also that student survival skill thing. Like, is this a topic you feel like you can get, 5 pages out of? All right. And so this paper, spoilers, like all our major essays, it's a 5-page essay. Now, before you freak out, that is 5 pages double spaced. Please don't do it single spaced unless you just like writing a lot. It's Times New Roman, font size 12. All right. So what are you actually graded on? I have a little thing in here. Student's paper will be evaluated on its use of proper grammar and other conventions of formal English writing, as well as authority and reliability of your sources. So we're going to have some future videos and future content about this, but basically, not everything is a great source. Short story. Whether the arguments in your essay are solidly grounded in those sources. The whole point of this is to not just give an off-the-cuff answer, but to give a well thought out answer that's based on the research you bring in. So we want to see how these things are connected. How well the sources explore the full scope of the issue. Basically, like, a good question has lots of different follow-up questions we need to ask and answer to answer the main question. So it's like, are you just looking at like 1% of this, tiny fraction of this, as opposed to, trying to check out the full scope of the issue that you chose? And then, of course, how convincing the narrative presented is. And that's the core assignment as written on here. It does have a cheerful little reminder that, and I hope I'm not the ghost of Christmas yet to come for some of you, but basically, when I say a 5-page essay, it needs to be 5 full pages. If you imagine you're looking at page 5, we want to be somewhere within spitting distance of the bottom of page 5. And that doesn't mean you have to be at the very bottom. I try to give you some credit, but, try not to be 25% or more short. It's very, very common, weirdly common, that I'll get someone that'll turn in, it's like halfway down. It's like, here's my 5-page paper, Dr. Snellgrove. And I have to be that jackass, like, that's a 4.5-page paper, that, and we do penalize, take off the letter grade. It's not 5 full pages. So please be aware of that. Works cited is required for your outside research. It does not count towards the 5 pages. The other stuff on here is stuff that, little tips and tricks we might have future videos or other content about, but it's saying that like you can do your own research, like you can do your own interviews. I had a student one time that, nothing wrong with this. He wanted to be this like specialized doctor down the line. So the question he wanted to answer is like, would such and such, doctor still be a viable career field in 10 years? And so a lot of his research was going to like local hospitals and interviewing the people there. So it was nice and self-serving because it helps with his like career plans. And so it's stuff that helps him, but it also meets all the requirements for the assignment. When you're searching for sources, consider adding cite:/edu or cite:/gov to your searches. And if you've never done that in Google, basically it narrows down. Instead of finding you all the possible sources, it will only find you sources that end in those domain names. So depending on the information that you are looking up, it's a quick way to get some reliable info. All right, try to avoid biased sources, try to avoid things like editorials. It's like numbers are your friends, sources that have statistics, percentages, etc. All right, now here's 2 things that sound, I don't know, hopefully they don't sound threatening, but your life will be a lot easier if this is more than 5 paragraphs. I don't know why I put 5 body paragraphs there, but basically a lot of people come into 1101 and they think all they can do is 5 paragraph essays. Intro, conclusion, and 3 body paragraphs in the middle. Now, there's nothing wrong with a 5-paragraph essay, but when you're doing a 5-page essay, math even I can do, then that means that each paragraph is 1 page. Not every paragraph needs to be 1 page long. So I wanted to, just let you know, it's fine to have like a half a page paragraph, and you're going to end up with a lot more than 5 paragraphs, and that's a good thing. Similarly, no one ever believes me on this at this stage of the class, but your life was probably easier for you if you get more than 3 sources. 3 is the minimum, but you may quickly find you need more than 3 sources in order to, answer all the follow-up questions that you come up with. But I think that's it for the essay itself. Y'all know the deal by now. If you have any questions, feel free to email me. Feel free to text me at 863-835-2399. Bye.